that the mic in there. All right, out of sight, out of mind. What's going on, everybody? You know already what it is. Is yours truly, Mufasa Fashaw, coming to you with another episode of Alphacology, man. And in order for you to have a successful relationship, certain things you need to require. You have to train your woman. All right, you got to train everybody. I hate to say it, but you got to train people the way you want them to treat you. You understand what I'm saying? That's a big component of a relationship. You have to have boundaries. You have to have, strong communication. And you got to have respect. And one thing about it, when even you got to look at kids, for example, I work with kids. You have to teach them respect. The fastest way to teach somebody respect is tell them your boundaries, right? And you'll think, okay, everything works out. But guess what? If you don't have any consequences for the rules being broken or the boundaries being crossed, guess what happens? You're right. Things get a little out of hand, all right? And us as human beings, whether it's dog, cat, rat, even training for your job, everybody has training. We all have rules and policies and procedures that help protect other people, basically, and help protect each other. So with that being said, what do you think is going on in a relationship? A lot of cats who come to me, because I do my consultation. Shout out to everybody who did a consultation with me before, and even me, just based off pure life experience, and I do a lot of self-reflection. I could sit here and tell you my best relationships came when we had strong respect for each other. We trained each other on how we were going to treat each other. All right. Especially in even my friendships. Dude, I'm telling you, man, you got to let people know, hey, I ain't putting up with that. I don't deal with that person. I don't do this, that, the other. That's all right. It's all right to walk away from a relationship if that person is disrespectful. All right. And disrespect is plain and simple. Somebody did something you don't like. I call that disrespect, but I always give people a warning because, I'm a fair man. You know what I'm saying? Being an alpha male, you have to be fair. You have to give people a chance to get things right. All right? So I'm a fair man. The first time I ask you to do something and you don't do it and we have a conversation, cool. I don't want you to do that anymore. And if they agree to it, hey, you know the consequences next time. And then the next time they do it, it's a consequence. And the next time they do it, you know what? It could be another consequence. Or you could just cut your losses. You got to have that ability to walk away and leave and mean it. Especially when you're dating or you're in a relationship. Me, I have been on both sides of that ball. I know what it feels like to cross the line with somebody, and I'm like trying to figure out what I did wrong. And then I also know what it feels like somebody crossed the line for me and they're trying to figure out what it did wrong. So I call myself a master communicator. So I'm going to let you know what you did wrong. You don't need to know why. You don't have to reason with me. But usually in situations where you need clarity, you could get that person, you or that person needs clarity. It should be enough respect there to get the clarity. Sometimes it's not. It just depends on the violation. All right? Because some people will tell you what you see is disrespect. They don't see is disrespect. All right? You got to understand, people are not raised the same way you're raised. So that's another thing you guys got to put in your minds about relationships. Their upbringing. If they weren't brung up the same way you brung up, they're probably not going to have the same respect level or view respect the same way as you. So what you find disrespectful, they may not find disrespectful. I done been in situations where uh, a young lady found something I did was disrespectful, and guess what happened? Guess what happened? Boom. Hey, I didn't know that was disrespectful. I always used to blah 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 with my last girlfriend. Blah blah blah. You don't want to be in that situation. Already in a relationship, you want to get that stuff out the way before y'all even get in a relationship. If that's what you're trying to do, if you're trying to what we like to call around here, purple pill it. You're trying to purple pill it because obviously if you watching my channel, then you got some dose of red pills somewhere. So you're trying to purple pill it and you're in a relationship and you need to understand how to keep your relationship going. A lot of our mistakes nowadays, young men, fellas, our mistakes come from the chemistry and the compatibility components of a relationship. We either have great compatibility and no chemistry, or we either have great chemistry and no compatibility. So if you're jumping in a relationship based off of emotions and attraction, that's basically the way that person looks and feels, your relationship is not going to last and you're going to have boundary issues. Trust me, I done did that, lived it, could write a book about it. Just because she has a pretty face and a nice booty don't mean she's the one for you. Or better yet, let me tell you this. Just because she has a pretty face and a nice booty and good sex don't mean that's the one either. All right? Vice versa. All right? Let's put it on the compatibility level where basically compatibility is y'all have the same ideas, y'all own the same thing, y'all complement each other well, y'all very compatible, but you don't find her emotionally stimulating or even mentally stimulating like that, and you don't find her physically arousing. Her aesthetics ain't on 10 for you. All right, that don't mean she has to be a 10, but her aesthetics, you don't find her that physically attractive. I done seen those relationships too. Those are what I call working relationships where, all right, this girl does not match. Like I got a homie, we used to go to high school together, and I know what kind of women he like, and his girl looked nothing like his woman. They just don't match, but they're very compatible. So he decided to take the compatibility over the chemistry. But guess what? It ain't last. So what I'm here to tell you guys, you gotta actually be on your alpha. Stop worried about getting rushed into a relationship. Work on you. So the girl that you want, and I call it the dream girl, the girl that has the beauty, the intelligence, the feminine part, the submission part down pat, and we can all sit up here and say, all right, I could get with this girl because chemistry wise, she blows my mind. She makes me feel great. Compatibility wise, we're on the same page, so we don't have to argue that much. That's all that is. Compatibility is basically how many times a day this girl get on your nerves, how many times a day y'all gonna be back and forth with each other. All right? And the cooperation levels of that. That's the kind of woman you need. I don't care no matter what failed relationship, it was a red flag somewhere. And most dudes, they get broken up with because it was a red flag somewhere. I always ask a woman, what really happened? If he was such a nice guy, what really happened? And 9 times out of 10, it's always a chemistry thing. Like the chemistry wasn't there. Or I asked a woman who was getting done wrong by a man, and I asked her in my consultation, like, why you still dealing with him? The chemistry was there, but the compatibility wasn't. It just wasn't. So you got to understand the key to those two components. And I learned a lot from talking to men, talking to women, and it always boils down to one is missing the other. All right? Most of us, we're in a relationship, fellas, where, especially me, where the chemistry is off the charts. All right? She's beautiful. She's sexy. I can't get enough of her, right? She can't get enough of me. But when we sit down and have a conversation and daily communication, The compatibility is way off. She's expecting certain things from me that we never discussed, or I'm not used to, or she's not used to the way I run my life, or she don't like this about me, that about me. See, you could cut all that out if you actually just take your time and be with a female, date a female, and put her in a category where you want her. See, but y'all don't do that because, we're going to talk about it a little later, but y'all not thinking with your upper mind. Y'all thinking with your lower levels, your lower mind. You're thinking with the little head instead of the big head. And I done been accused of that. I also been a victim of that on both sides. I done thought with this head too and not made sure everything else was centered, squared. You know how many girls I could run into that like to do things that I like to do, but I'm not attracted to like that? You know how many girls that I have absolute attraction to and I wouldn't dare date them at all, ever, like would not entertain a conversation? All right, we're men. Let's keep it like that. Either way, if you enter in a relationship where the compatibility is missing, the chemistry is missing, you're draining your masculinity. You're draining your masculine principle. You're emasculating yourself, actually. I always say that. So you got to understand, like at the beginning, you have to approach a relationship with a level of logic. And a lot of us not doing that. And that's why we're in these situations. Me, I could just talk to a female and be like, that ain't it. And I'm glad I'm to the point now where I could see a woman that I find very attractive, and after talking to her, I could tell we're not compatible. Boom, it cut off. I ain't worried about it no more. I'm not going to pursue her. I don't care how many times she texts me, call me back. I'm not doing nothing with that because I already know me and her going to bump heads. Go ahead, find you another dude. That's how I do it. Like my last relationship I promised myself my last relationship was going to be that. And even if I enter another relationship after my last one, if we bump heads, it's a wrap. And when I say bump heads, I just don't mean have one little argument or one disagreement. I'm talking about if we disagree on a major scale consistently, yeah, it's a wrap. Like, nah, I'm not with that. And I'm already easily turned off anyway with a lot of arguing and going back and forth with chicks. I am. So that's why I actually kind of save myself from a lot of heartbreak and a lot of drainage and a lot of depression, because I get out of there as soon as, okay, this ain't working, I get out of there quick. And it's always like, no, what happened? Nah, baby, you're not ready. I thought you was ready. You're not ready. Try again some other time. Well, I could have another one of you and blah, blah. All right, fine. Find you another dude. Go find him. I'm not him. So with that being said, man, you guys got to understand compatibility and chemistry, all right? The chemistry is basically the attraction, the way that girl make you look, the way that girl might look turns you on, the way that girl makes you feel turns you on. It's all about your flesh and the senses and the chemistry, and your emotions and the chemistry. But your compatibility is the communication, the ideas of your life. Y'all plan for each other, how you guys fit in each other's lives. Is there room for growth mentally? The mental standpoint of the relationship, the financial standpoint of the relationship. Are y'all financially compatible? If she's trying to, are you trying to spend money and she's trying to save, or is she trying to save money and you're trying to spend it? Whatever that goes, however that goes, all that is incompatibility. Does she have a routine that fits your routine? Does she want you home by a certain time, but you don't want to be home by a certain time because you hit the gym? All that stuff plays a part in compatibility, and it can mess up a relationship. So you got to understand that. You got all types of compatibility, even spiritual and religious compatibility. I'm pretty sure if she's Muslim and you're Christian, you're gonna bump heads. You're gonna have some issues. all right, or she don't believe in God and you do, it's going to be an issue. Those are the type of stuff, those are the type of things, excuse me, those are the type of things that you have to look out in a relationship. The more stuff you're not compatible with, and the more stuff that don't fit with you fellas, the less likely you should jump in a relationship with her. Straight up. So with that being said, man, this been another episode. Alphacology, man. Thank you, Alphacology Masculinity channel. Go ahead, check out in the description. You guys could donate. Make sure you like and subscribe. I gotta remember to say that, because you know I'm coming from Anchor and I just be going ham in there. So you know I cleaned it up a little bit, and I'm gonna start going a little bit deeper and everything. But like I always say, man, until next time, peace out.